Hey everybody, Mark Allen V here. So tonight I want to talk to you about my song Last Cigarette. Now it's a tune I started writing probably 25 years ago, and I've recorded and written several variations and versions of it over the years, but for the most part it sat on the shelf for quite some time until I recently dusted it off and reworked some stuff and tweaked up some lyrics and recorded it, and now that's what you hear on the record. So while it draws inspiration from bits and pieces of my life, I would not say that it's autobiographical at all. But it did become so after the fact, and that'll be more clear here in just a minute. So anyway, yeah, prior to kids, prior to being married, I had my local watering hole that I'd go to a couple of times a week. You pretty much find me there every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. And just like any other neighborhood bar, you got your set of regulars that are there. So there was never a shortage of friendly faces whenever you stop in, somebody that you can hang out and have a drink with. And the regulars, they all sat kind of at the back side of the bar so they could see who comes through the door. So that was kind of the regulars spot back there. And I remember one night I was there, and it was getting close to time for me to call it a night. And I looked down, and I had one cigarette left. I'm like, hey, all right. Hey, bartender, I'll take one more beer as I light up my last cigarette. It's like, whoa. Now that's a cool line. And so I started thinking about that. And I looked over, and there was Frank. Frank was one of the regulars, man. He was a character. But he was one of the regulars. He was probably late 60s, early 70s. And he was there all the time, so much so that they called him the mayor. And they even brought in his own beer for him. They'd order his own beer for him. It was Natural Light. Nobody else would drink it, so it was just for him. And yeah, he's definitely an icon of that place. So the storyline just started kind of emerging in my head about this guy that stops in this bar, sees this old man sitting there, and the old man's like, hey, bartender, can you buy me a round and I'll pay you back twice next time I come around? Because I got a lot of things I'm trying to forget next, as I light up my last cigarette. So this whole story started emerging around that. And funny thing is I'll pay you back twice next time I come around, straight out of Popeye. I mean, we're wimpy, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Yeah, that's the visual I get every time I think about that line. But anyway, the story arc, as it developed, was about this guy seeing this old man sitting down, just kind of talking, sharing cigarettes, so on and so forth as the night went on, listening to stories. And then the young man leaves, and was kind of touched by that encounter. Goes back several days later to see the old man again, just to be met by some sad news. So, fast forward several years. I hadn't gone to that bar in many years because I got married, had kids. And my wife and I had a night out. And we decided to stop in there just old time's sake. Like I said, I hadn't been there in years. So we went, and there were some seats over there, over in the regular section on the back side of the bar. So we sat over there and just kind of checking it out. It's like, some things were the same. A lot of things had changed. There were a couple of regulars that were still there, so it was kind of cool. And I remember looking down, and there's this little gold plaque, and it was etched onto the bar, and it said, "In memory of Frank, the mayor." I'm like, what? And I look over, and one of the regulars, I go, hey Gary, what happened? Did Frank pass away? So, oh yeah, many years ago. It's like, oh man. And it just really hit me, because I had written this entire song, and he was kind of the visual behind the song, and now the arc of the song has come true. And it's like, wow, life definitely imitating art. That was definitely one of those situations. So anyway, that's the story behind the last cigarette. And this song's for you, Frank. Thanks.